Guys, I have a very special video for you right now because right here next to me, I have the all-new first ever 2024 Chevy Blazer EV RS all-wheel drive right there. And this video is not just a walk around because several months ago, my buddy Case showed you this new vehicle. And he also showed you the SS, the high performance version of it, but now it's actually reaching the dealership. So I have a chance to drive it. So I'll be able to show you all the features of it, discuss the positives and the negatives, and there's a lot of both, and also do a 0 to 60 with this machine because I brought my little GPS device. So let me take out my key, which is pretty standard actually. Remote start, pop the trunk, lock and unlock. Okay, unlocking it. Ooh, it's welcoming me. I don't know if the camera is picking up. Yeah, actually the lights look pretty good on camera. Sometimes the LEDs flicker, but in this case, yeah, it's pretty good. So let's take a look on the side really quick. This is an all-new vehicle, like I said, because it's an all-new chassis. General Motors calls it the Ultium platform, which means it's kind of a new unibody architecture. And they set the wheelbase really far out. So I think, in my opinion, the styling of this machine is really appealing to me. It looks sporty. It's supposed to be a crossover SUV. But the reason why they pushed out the wheelbase also so far out is to fit various size of batteries, including the largest battery. This one is the RS, which is kind of a mid-grade. It also starts with a 2LT. They don't have a 1LT model anymore. Initially they announced it, but this is the RS all-wheel drive. So it's a familiar name, right? They've used RS badges for many years and decades on Chevrolet vehicles. So let's kind of start digging in. It's got a lot of cool technology, and also we have to talk about power, charging, range, and price. I think you'll be surprised at the end of this video when I show you, well, I tell you the price. So these are my Ian and I's gear. So we have two backpacks here. Underneath here, there's a large storage area. There's a tow hook right here on the left, and it's pretty deep. There's a charger that they supply, obviously level 1 and level 2. And it also has, of course, a level 3 capability, fast charging. I'll tell you about that in a second. But this is actually quite cavernous. So I can actually pull these buttons and I can kind of lay these seats down. So the roof line is actually quite low, but I can sit here and I can put long items in here. So it does have some utility. It has about the same cargo volume as a Ford Mustang Mach-E electric crossover. It's got two cameras over here, one for reverse and one for rear camera and mirror. Of course, wiper, pretty nice design. It's got roof rails, so you can put a roof rack on top of this. So I think all those are positive things. I'm not in love with the name. It's my personal thing, just for me. I'm a little bit old school, so Blazer, when I think Blazer, I still think big, large truck-based off-roaders, like the K5. This is not it. Anyways, I think I want to show you a couple things before we jump in and actually go for a drive. So first of all, the charge door is right here on the driver's side. It has kind of a unique way of opening. It's a little bit slowish, so it's got some ceremony to it. And this is currently the current port. So you have CCS capability of up to 190 kilowatt of charging speed. So it's not the fastest, quickest charging EV out there. For example, some Teslas are capable of over 200 kilowatts, sometimes up to 250. Let's close this. Whoa. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a ceremony, this door. This one is riding on these 21-inch wheels, 275 45 R21s. I think the style is pretty cool. It also has this arrow effect where a lot of the wheel is actually enclosed. So it's supposed to be quite efficient, quite nice. Let me show you underneath the hood. We won't find an engine under there, but I want to see what we can find. Like I said, this is a production car that's on sale. And this video would not be possible without our friends, my friends, at Johnson Auto Plaza in Colorado, in Brighton. Whoa. Okay, so I expected a bit of a frunk, but the Blazer EV doesn't have it. What they do have is a lot of plastic covers. There's a coolant, a way to replenish your coolant for your either battery system, probably most likely the battery system because they are thermally managed. And batteries really love to be somewhere around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So they're kind of like humans, 72 to 75 degrees. So the coolant system is here. Windshield washer is here. Sorry, I don't know if I'll be able to open all of this. Yeah, it's right there. And also here, there's also access for 12-volt battery. Of course, just as any vehicle, this car has a 12-volt system and also their high-voltage battery system for driving. Let's jump in and go for a drive. Yes, finally, getting behind the wheel of the all-new Blazer EV. So first of all, I'm just getting in, and the vehicle is almost ready already. So there is no real vehicle start button. As soon as I put my foot on the brake pedal, it's already ready. And your transmission, it's got a 1 on the tree because it's just a single speed drive, reverse, there's neutral, and also park. So all that's available. What is in my face right now, which is pretty amazing, is the 17.7-inch infotainment screen. It's huge. And I'm kind of familiar with this, like vehicle status, because I own a Chevy Colorado, a 2023 model. And my Chevy Colorado has very similar layout and features. I'm not in love with a lot of this. For example, drive and park hides a traction control on and off switch and one pedal driving regen level. You can freewheel by turning it off, or you can have quite aggressive one pedal driving. I'm gonna just go on, so not a very aggressive one. There's also a pedal right there for controlling the level of your regen, kind of like the older Chevy Bolt used to have. My steering wheel has heat. It has this button that goes through different orientations of my gauge cluster, which is also very high definition. So there's this minimalistic view. There's this view, another one, and it shows my current power. And I'll tell you about my power level in 1 second or in a few seconds. There's a navigation system and this view as well. I think I'm gonna go to this because I wanna monitor during my 0 to 60 what's happening here. And then of course the design with red accents, blue accents, red and blue stitching. I think it's quite attractive. I also have a heads-up display in front of me for additional information, and I have a rear camera mirror that Chevrolet has used on many different vehicles over the years. I have wireless charging. I have cup holders. I have a cubby, pretty deep one, with 2 USB-Cs. Another phone holder. Whoa, it goes deep down there. And a medium-sized center console. Not humongous one, but another USB-C. So this thing is loaded with, is it a 12 volt? Yes, there's a 12 volt. So this thing is loaded with charging capabilities. All right, let me put it in drive. I've made you wait long enough. You're probably sick of this already. So, there are several versions of the Blazer EV. The SS, the most highest performance version of it, is not available yet. It will be available in the spring of 2024, at least to the current information that we have. Of course, the strikes UAW worker strikes are putting pressure on all automakers, big three, GM, Ford, and Stellantis, and timing may change. That vehicle has pretty crazy numbers, 547 approximately total horsepower. This one, the power level on this RS model all-wheel drive is harder to find. In fact, currently it's impossible to find. So I looked around, and our friends at caranddriver.com actually reached out to GM recently in October of 2023, and GM told them that this all-wheel drive model is rated at 288 horsepower and about 333 pound-feet of torque for the all-wheel drive version. That doesn't sound like a lot, but this is why we're doing real-world testing, is we want to find out how does this behave in the real world. We're here in Colorado at slightly higher elevations. Electric motors don't care about oxygen, and it's actually a little bit more slippery here because we don't have quite as much air density as at sea level. But this vehicle is still quite heavy. I looked at the stickers on the door. Gross vehicle weight for this vehicle is 6,500 pounds. It has 1,200 pounds of payload. And if you calculate all that, that means 5,300 pounds of curb weight, which is relatively, well, it's not insanely heavy for a 5-person mid-size crossover SUV, but it's on the heavier side. Obviously, the biggest hit to the weight of this vehicle is the battery weight. But because GM has this display in front of me, the current kilowatt, the current power output, we'll be able to monitor this during my 0 to 60, and I can tell you exactly in the real world what the power output is. It could be a little bit more than GM stated, it could be a little bit less than GM stated. So we'll have to wait and see. I have it approximately 60% charge. So this may not be the highest performance level because the battery is nearing its kind of half point. There's a Tesla I'm gonna follow. I gotta tell you, it's got a very kind of electric vehicle experience. For me, since I've driven several electric vehicles before, it's pretty easy. The regen is already pretty strong, so I can see that I'm putting a lot of energy back into the battery. And some of the other controls on the steering wheel, like the wipers here as well on the stock, are familiar to me because, once again, other Chevrolets use the same operation. So I don't feel out of place. It's not like they rethought everything. I think that's good. Let me pause here so that I can show you a real world 0 to 60. I'm really curious. This is really my first time with this Blazer EV, so I wanted to sit in the back. Whoa, this is a huge amount of space for me. I'm about 6'3", 6'3" tall, and I'm pretty large, and I have great legroom. I have some headroom. I mean, like, my head is really not touching. I mean, I wish the seat was a tiny bit higher because for thigh support, but I have my own vents. I have heated seats in the back. I have 2 USB-Cs, and I have actually what is a pretty nice back seat, spacious place to be, even though it's a little bit monochromatic. There's not a lot of color going on other than the vents. The Blazer EV has drive modes, a couple of them. So there's normal, there's sport that I've been using, snow and ice, and my mode. So my mode, you can kind of define different, even motor sound. Sport. Ooh, let's try that. Customize how your vehicle sounds when you're accelerating. Your electric motor will remain quiet outside, but the sound you hear inside will change. Yes, I wanted to try that. Acceleration, definitely sport. Braking. I don't want it to slam on my brakes, using regen. Steering, sport. All right, so let's see. Is it really 288 horsepower or is it 300 or more? All right, I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna just slam it. Just watch this, keep watching. 225 kilowatt. you know, in order to convert it, you have to multiply by about 1.34 because there's about 1.34 horsepower in a kilowatt. So what is that? That's near 300 if you multiply 225 by 1.34. And here's my other result, 6.81 0 to 60. So I would say, it felt good. I'm not going to complain about the acceleration. It's not a Tesla level acceleration. Most Teslas, go under 5 seconds, or some even under 4 seconds for 0 to 60. And of course, the SS Blazer EV is claimed to have under 4-second acceleration. But of course, we don't have it yet. But what's more alarming, I think, is when you combine everything you get, including 275 miles of range on a charge in this RS. This is according to Chevrolet. Because in rear-wheel drive version, you can get up to 320 miles of range. This all-wheel drive, of course, uses a little bit more power, so you get about 275-ish miles of range in this one. And this is not a range test. I can't do that right now. When you find the price, that's what's alarming. So let me go back outside and tell you how much it costs. All right, so that was an interesting real-world result. The car still feels quick, it feels comfortable and quiet, but now we come to the price, and this is a head scratcher for me. This RS all-wheel drive Blazer EV you see right here has a S-tested sticker price of $60,700. It starts at around $56,000. It has one convenience package. That's a steep price for the performance, for the power levels. I mean, it has some good things like the interior spaciousness, the cargo capability, even a tiny bit of towing capability, like I told you already. But $60,000 for this. Yes, you can still get tax credits if it's applicable to you. So you can bring down that price if it's convenient for your tax situation. But if it's not convenient, this is still a very steep price. So you can buy many different vehicles like the Tesla Model Y, the VW ID4, the Nissan Ariya, Mach-E, Mustang, Ford. I mean, there's a lot of competition in this space. And a lot of them are actually undercutting this Blazer all-wheel drive by a fair margin. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Chevy doing a right thing with this new Blazer EV? Is it going to be popular? Are you interested? Do you like the way it looks? Let me know in the comments below, and check out alltfl.com for everything automotive in one place right there.